Summer fun will have the kids outdoors again, and whether it's playing organized sports or just running around the neighborhood, injuries are definitely a part of summer as well. Dr. Shane Fair is a pediatric sports medicine physician at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, and hopefully you don't have to go see him this summer. Doc, good to see you. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening here. I want to get into, I was just sharing a story with you that probably is embarrassing to my dad, but I'm going to share it anyway. He let my brother sleep on a broken arm one time. Didn't seem like that big of a deal. It was kind of one of those things where he's like, shake it off. So that can be hard for parents, though. How do you know if you got a break or something that they need to go see you about?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. You know, it can be difficult sometimes, and I never fault parents, for those times where it's doubtful. But honestly, if you have an extremity, an arm, a leg that's very swollen, they're not willing to use it, walk on it, or it's just deformed. Doesn't look right.
Right.
You have a strong suspicion that it's broken.
Do you go to your regular childhood doctor, your regular pediatrician? Is this an ER visit? How do parents sort that out?
I think most of those ones that you're concerned, you think it might be broken, you want to get them in that day. And so, at Children's Hospital, we have multiple urgent cares. We have a great emergency department where they can get care, better pain control, and then ultimately get to the orthopedist, to our clinics to help, definitively manage it. So the ones that aren't so severe, you wonder because they might use it and the pain's not so bad.
Right.
You could see how it's doing the next day, and if, it's still giving them trouble, it's time to go in.
For those that you're pretty sure this is not a hospital or doctor visit, but still the kid's in some sort of pain or maybe a sprain or a twist or things like that, what do you recommend in terms of home care?
So for those, more subtle injuries or the ones that are more mild, use the RICE principle. So rest, ice, compression, and elevation. So, it's always good just to kind of keep that elevated, maybe put a little wrap on it, ice it a few times, and then, try to keep them from re-injuring it.
Right. Well, that sometimes is the hardest part. Keep them off it a little bit. On the ice, how often do you do that? Because sometimes ice is tough with kids anyway, because it's, real cold.
Sure.
But how often should we have them hit the ice bag again?
Right. So you want to make sure that the ice is not directly on the skin, So something should be between the ice and the skin. And you want to do that for about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And you can do that about every hour. So no more than 15 to 20 minutes, and you can do it every hour for a few hours if you needed to.
All right. Well, like I said, hopefully we don't send too many to the ER this year to come see you, but appreciate the advice.
Thanks very much.
And these tips and more information about your child's health available online anytime. We've got a link to Children's Hospital of Wisconsin on our website at tmj4.com.